My fiancée secretly contacting her ex right before our wedding. My fiancée, Maya, and I, Alex, have been together for 4 years, engaged for 6 months. We met back in college at a friend's birthday party and hit it off instantly. Maya's laugh was contagious, and her passion for teaching was inspiring. We spent hours that night talking about everything, favorite books, dreams for the future, all of it. Before I knew it, we were exclusive, moving quickly but naturally. Maya was everything I wanted: smart, kind, funny. She stood by me through stressful exams, celebrated my wins, and became my confidant. After graduation, we both found jobs in our hometown. I started in IT, while Maya became a teacher. We moved into a cozy apartment near her work. We talked openly about our future, marriage, kids, the whole life. I thought we were on the same page. Last year on our anniversary, I proposed. I planned a beach picnic, right where we'd had our first date, followed by a surprise party with friends and family. When she said yes with tears in her eyes, I thought that was the beginning of our happily ever after. We started planning the wedding, and Maya seemed thrilled with every detail. We even started looking at houses. Then, everything changed. While Maya was at work, I borrowed her iPad to look up a recipe and saw her Facebook messages open. I know I shouldn't have looked, but a name caught my eye: Nate. He was her high school ex-boyfriend. My stomach dropped as I read their messages. Nate and Maya had been texting for the last 3 months, reminiscing about their past, sharing inside jokes, and worst of all, flirting. She even sent him selfies and talked about some of my habits that she found annoying. When he said, "I miss what we had," she replied, "Me too." Sometimes things felt simpler back then. They'd even planned to meet for coffee soon. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Here we were, planning a wedding, and she was reconnecting with her ex. I always thought we were honest with each other, and she'd told me they'd ended on good terms but weren't in contact anymore. I confronted her. At first, she downplayed it, saying Nate was just a friend, and I was overreacting. But when I mentioned specific messages, she broke down. Through tears, she admitted she'd been feeling unsure about our engagement, that reconnecting with Nate had made her question if she was really ready for marriage. She claimed it wasn't about love, but about figuring out her future. I asked her to cancel the coffee meetup with him, and she reluctantly agreed. Maya says she wants to work things out, but I don't know if I can trust her anymore. Every time she looks at her phone, I wonder if she's still talking to Nate. I talked to my best friend, Jake, who thinks I should end things now before we get married. But my other friend, Mark, suggests we try counseling, saying all couples face rough patches. I feel torn. Part of me wants to work things out because I still love Maya, and we've built a life together. But I can't ignore the betrayal. When Maya says she still wants to get married, I wonder if I'm just a backup while she explores her feelings for Nate. To complicate things, we just renewed our lease, and I'm not sure either of us could afford the place alone. I'm losing sleep, struggling at work, and constantly replaying our happy memories, wondering if any of it was real or if I was just a safe choice while she thought about Nate. After a sleepless night, I realized I needed more information before making any decisions. The next day, I sat down with Maya for a long, honest conversation. I told her I needed full transparency if we were going to have any chance of moving forward. Maya admitted that her feelings for Nate had never fully faded. They had dated for 2 years in high school, were each other's first love, and breaking up was more about timing than any real issues. When Nate reached out on Facebook, it rekindled those old feelings. At first, she just enjoyed catching up with an old friend, but the more they talked, the more she looked forward to his messages. Soon, she started comparing our relationship to what they'd had. Maya insisted that nothing physical ever happened, but she confessed to meeting Nate for coffee after one of her shifts. Maya said that seeing Nate in person made her realize she wasn't ready for marriage and gave her doubts about us. I asked to see their messages, and after a moment's hesitation, she handed her phone over. Reading through them was painful. There was more flirting than I initially saw, with Nate suggesting they give things another try, though Maya didn't outright agree. I also found texts to her best friend, Lila, where she admitted feeling trapped and wondering if she was settling. She said she loved me, but wasn't sure if it was enough. It was heartbreaking. Maya revealed she'd been having doubts about us even before Nate reappeared, but instead of talking to me, she confided in her ex. After that conversation, I knew I needed space to think. I packed a bag and went to stay with my brother for a few days. Being in our apartment, surrounded by wedding magazines and photos of us, was too much. While I was gone, Maya called and texted constantly, begging me to come back and work things out. She promised to cut all contact with Nate and said she was sure she wanted a future with me. She even suggested couples counseling to work through her doubts. But being away gave me clarity. I realized I deserved someone who was certain about me, not someone who had to reconnect with an old flame to figure it out. When I returned, I told Maya I thought we should end the engagement. She cried and pleaded for another chance, saying the time apart had shown her how much she loved me. But my decision was made. I couldn't marry someone who had such significant doubts and kept them hidden. Now we're sorting out the logistics of separating our lives. We can't afford the apartment alone, so we're looking into breaking the lease early. I'll keep most of the furniture, while Maya is staying with Lila while she searches for a new place. We're also canceling the wedding vendors and returning gifts. Explaining this to our families has been painful, but necessary. It's been a few weeks since I ended the engagement. I feel more certain it was the right decision. Fortunately, we managed to break the lease on the apartment without too much financial damage. The landlord was understanding, especially since we found someone to take over the lease quickly. Maya moved in with her friend Lila, and I stayed in the apartment until the end of the month while I searched for a new place of my own. Going through and dividing our belongings was harder than I expected. Over 4 years together, we'd built a life around shared experiences and memories, and it felt strange to decide who took what. I ended up keeping most of the furniture, mainly because I had purchased it initially, while Maya took kitchen items and a few decorative pieces that she was attached to. We had a few disagreements over things with sentimental value, like a painting we bought together on our first vacation, but we managed to handle it respectfully. The toughest part was canceling the wedding. We lost some of our deposits, but a few vendors were understanding once we explained the situation. Returning the gifts and informing everyone of the change was embarrassing, to say the least. My parents were disappointed. They had already paid a non-refundable deposit for the rehearsal dinner venue. They had been so excited about the wedding, but even with the disappointment, they've been incredibly supportive, reminding me that I'm making the right choice. Through a mutual friend, I heard that Maya officially started dating Nate about 2 weeks after our breakup. While it hurt to hear, it only confirmed that ending things was for the best. Her feelings for him were clearly more significant than she let on, and I can't help but wonder if their relationship started even before I found those messages. Knowing she moved on so quickly has given me some much-needed clarity. I've been focusing on rebuilding my own life. I started seeing a therapist to work through my trust issues, which have only grown from this experience. Talking to someone who doesn't know Maya or anyone in our circle has been really helpful. It's allowed me to process what happened and feel less alone in all of this. I've also thrown myself into new routines. I joined a gym and started rock climbing as a hobby. I needed something that would both challenge me and take my mind off everything. Surprisingly, the climbing community has been very welcoming, and I've made some new friends there. It feels refreshing to meet people who only know me as Alex, without any association with my past relationship. Work has been a huge help in keeping me busy. I took on a big project, and my boss even mentioned the possibility of a promotion, which is something I'm looking forward to. Having that goal has given me something to focus on beyond the personal turmoil. I'm also planning a solo trip to Europe next month, a dream I'd always put off. Backpacking through Italy and visiting some other European spots feels like exactly what I need to clear my head and reset. Friends and family have been my biggest support system. My brother has let me crash at his place whenever I need a change of scenery, and my college friends have been great at helping me stay distracted. They've organized weekly game nights, which have become a much-needed highlight of my week. It's a reminder that there are people in my life who have my back and that not every relationship is so fragile. Honestly, though, I'd be lying if I said I don't still think about Maya and the life we almost had. There are nights when I miss her, and I occasionally catch myself wondering if she misses me too. I'll have moments when I think about texting her, but those moments are happening less and less. Slowly, I'm learning that I deserve someone who is absolutely sure about us. Someone who doesn't need to turn to an ex to figure out if they're ready to be with me. It's a hard realization, but it's also liberating. Moving on is difficult, and there are still days when I doubt myself. But as time passes, I'm starting to feel more hopeful about what the future might hold. There's a lot of pain in leaving behind something you once believed in so fully, but there's also a freedom in letting go of what wasn't meant for you. It's been 6 months since the breakup, and my life has changed in ways I couldn't have anticipated. I've moved into a new apartment across town. It's smaller than the one Maya and I shared, but it feels like my own space, filled with my style and my choices. To make it even better, I adopted a dog named Max, a 3-year-old lab mix who's brought a lot of joy and routine back into my life. Work has been going well too. I received the promotion I'd been hoping for, and now I'm leading a team on a big project. The extra responsibility has been challenging but rewarding, keeping my mind focused on new goals. Plus, the travel opportunities have given me the chance to explore new places and take my mind off the past. I've slowly started dating again. I'm taking things carefully, meeting new people, and enjoying their company without rushing. This time, I'm honest about my past and my priorities, and I'm meeting people who are genuinely excited about building something real. It's refreshing to connect with people who bring a positive outlook to the future. A surprising moment came when I ran into Maya and Nate at a restaurant recently. Though it was a little awkward, I managed to be polite, and they seemed happy together. Instead of feeling resentment or jealousy, I felt a strange sense of relief. That encounter helped me realize I made the right choice. I wish them well, but feel more certain than ever that I'm on the path I'm meant to be. The solo trip to Europe I'd planned was exactly what I needed. Spending 3 weeks backpacking through Italy, France, and Spain allowed me to reflect on everything that had happened and experience the freedom of a fresh start. I came back with a renewed sense of purpose and a clearer mind, ready to embrace this new chapter of my life. Therapy has been invaluable throughout this journey, helping me process the trust issues and emotional scars I've been carrying. I'm learning to be open without losing my boundaries and am grateful for the personal growth that's come from such a tough experience. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them, so please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.